the Brandon School District. Could I have a roll call, please?
Sure. Sarah Allen? Here. John Chartier?
Here.
Melissa Clark is absent with notice. Marianne Dwyer? Here. Lisa Calhoun?
Here.
Kevin McClellan, absent with notice. Diane Salter?
Here.
Dr. Outlaw?
Here.
Jamie?
Here.
Dr. Schmidtun?
He ran the Boston Marathon today, so.
So he's.
Zoe
Okay.
Harris? Are you guys?
Here.
That's
We're
it.
filling in, but.
And Savannah?
Here.
Okay, everybody stand for the pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, up first is Zoe and Savannah. Welcome.
Not so it's bad.
Oh,
This is here.
How do you want us to like click it?
these are over here as a clicker, maybe.
Yeah.
You guys want to use this?
Yeah,
Sure,
yes,
okay, here.
please. Okay, so I'm Holly Oliver and this is Kaylin Sakachi and we're here to give you the student report for April.
Okay, so this month we got lots of testing for the high school. The freshmen and sophomores tested in the PSAT on April 9th. The juniors are still in the middle of their testing. The SAT was also on April 9th. Work Keys was on April 10th and MSTEP is tomorrow, April 16th. For the NMSQT testing that occurred in October, Sarah Pestis scores in the top 1% of all students in the country.
National Merit. National Merit.
Yeah,
program,
National
which is
Merit
a big
Scholarship.
time. That's a big program.
Okay, some of the awards. Robotics, Trucktown Thunder qualified for states. Student Council attended their states conference and brought home multiple awards. We won the Exceptional Service Project Award for the service project done in the fall where we donated the hygiene bags to all the less fortunate throughout the holidays. We won the Star School Award. We also recognized Hunter Martin for the Unsung Hero Award, Zoe Harris for the Student of the Year nominee, and Mr. Y was recognized as a Principal of the Year nominee.
Next week we have Autism Awareness Spirit Week, and then Student Council had a blood drive on March 28th, and that ran very smoothly. Spring sports have now started, games and competitions, and renovations are starting in the high school. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, next we have the superintendent's report.
All right, I'm going to turn it over to Brittany Miller here. She's going to talk a little bit about our growing drama program here in the school district. We've got a whole team of people working on this, but the drama program has really been taking off, and we have two of our outstanding leaders here, Brittany Miller and Jeff Hughes, to tell us about it.
Hello. So I'm Brittany Miller and this is Jeff Malicki. We are running the spring musical at the high school. We wanted to invite each of you to come and go to the musical if you would like to. We have some flyers for you, but we also have two students who are going to perform a small tidbit of our musical. This is a portion in the middle of the musical after the prince has, we're doing Cinderella, did I say that? We just left rehearsal.
They're going great.
Yeah. They're wonderful, come see it. So after the prince has met his lady, he has announced that he's going to give a banquet so he can find her again. And take it away.
Honestly, sire, 3 nights in a row you search, and here it is, 4 o'clock in the morning. It's like you're testing my good nature. The moment that woman in white ran off, which we all must admit seems to imply she has a police record, The second she's gone, you don't want to deal with any of the other girls.
Sebastian, are there poor people in the land that are having their homes taken from them?
If there were, I would tell you.
Do they need our help?
Everyone donated joyfully. Ignore this talk. Where did you hear it?
The girl.
I don't know that she's to be trusted. Please, come back to the castle. The work is piling up.
No, something isn't right.
As you say, the ring, sire.
All right, sorry. What are you stamping this time?
Nothing, sire. Hardly worth troubling your beautiful mind.
Well, let me read it.
I should explain before.
I'm reading this now, thank you.
Your future majesty allows us to go back to the castle so I can drop some coverage. You don't want to.
I'll read this on my own.
But
That'll be all, Sebastian. I'll ask if anything explained. Oh no. Sebastian!
sire, I can explain.
How can you do this in my name?
I am maintaining this life for you. If it were not for my watchful eye, you should be a pauper. Would you want that?
I want the girl, the one I spoke to. I want to talk to that girl.
A troublemaker.
We'll have another ball, a banquet, and she'll come to that.
She won't show. This is lunacy.
She will come, and you are inviting everyone in the kingdom.
Don't you forget who you're talking to.
And don't you forget who you're talking to. Now we are having a banquet tonight, and I am finding that girl.
Very well, sire. She won't come. You don't even know her name. And if she really thought you were worthy of all of her high ideals, she would have stayed, wouldn't she?
A banquet!
It's
Next weekend.
Next weekend.
Next
26, 27, 28.
I did see the fly on the wall.
Yep.
and
I have
thought
some
that was
flyers
very
if you'd like them.
So good.
It's gonna be awesome. Spread the
Yes.
word. It's gonna be great to be there.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank you,
gentlemen.
thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, great. Okay, next I wanted to bring forward another program that's been in this district for a number of years. That's just growing and growing and growing as a result of some great work by a lot of people, is the Future Problem Solving Program. Not everybody knows what that is. It is something that's impacting all kinds of students. So I invited Julie Kwarmachek and Michelle Terrell from the middle school to come up here and talk a little bit about our program. Our program, and the students have just received a bunch of awards as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having us, and maybe all of the students that are participating can come up too. We have a few of them now. So I'm Shelley Kamachek, and I know you all know Michelle Terrell, and there's some confusion because I'm a parent for FPSers, and I'm on the state board. I'm a co-president with the state board, but my sister-in-law is actually our district coach in combination with Michelle Terrell. And she started the program back in 2012, 7 years ago, with some fourth graders at Harvey Swanson and with Mr. Phillips, who was very happy to help us with the program. So it's grown and grown. We're in 7 years. We've won numerous awards. Our kids have gone to the international competition a couple of times. We have some international award winners again this year, and it's very exciting. And what it is a critical thinking and creative problem solving program. It started back in the 70s. In the 80s and 90s, it was in a lot of school districts. I know it was in Clarkston until just a few years ago. But a lot of budget cuts have hit it, especially in the creative and gifted and talented programs. So a lot of the programs right now are after school, and it's on the kids' own times, and it's typically with the kids' own funding. And Brandon has, what is it, Michelle, 5 teams, I think? Are we up to 5 teams, plus some individuals, where the kids get together throughout the school year, and they learn about topics. Very real topics that are affecting us globally. And they look at futuristic scenarios and what the problems might be 30 or 40 years down the road and how they can help solve those problems, and how they can take this critical thinking approach to solving these problems. And they learn a 6-step process from identifying the underlying problem of what's in the scenario to coming up with solutions, figuring out what those solutions are. And throughout the school year, they compete in 3 different booklets. They sit down after they've done tons of research and they write for 2 hours on this booklet. It gets submitted into the state and it gets evaluated. Then the kids get feedback on how they've gone through this program and how they've used the principles that they've learned to solve these problems. And throughout the year, they get better and better. And then it culminates in the spring with a state competition we call State Bowl. It's been held at Michigan State University for the last, I think, 5 or 6 years. And the kids get to compete in Wells Hall. They get to write in the halls that college kids are learning in. They get to present in big auditoriums. And if you've been to Wells Hall at MSU, it's the biggest auditorium on campus. So it's a really, really good experience for these kids. And they've done a phenomenal job. So I'm going to turn this over to Michelle and let her talk a little bit about the winners. And I also brought a pamphlet. If you guys want to learn a little bit more about it, I'll pass it around. You can share it. But it's just a great program. And we really appreciate your support year after year. It means a lot to the kids and to the program, and it's just great things for all of them.
Hi, so these kids here are super dedicated. As you were talking about meeting to write for the booklet, this year we actually met during the snow days, the umpteen snow days we had, that the teams met at the public library or met at someone's home so they could get their booklet in on time. So they're very dedicated to the program, which is just wonderful, and that shows, I think, in the awards that we've won this year. So right now we have Mary Komashak, who won 3rd place for scenario writing at the senior level division. We have a 3-person team of Lauren Komashak, Lexi Halstead, and Lindsay Claxton. They won a 3rd place, so semifinalist at the team booklet writing. And in the middle school level, I think there is over 30 teams. And most teams are made up of 4 students, so they did very well having a 3-person team to write a booklet in that amount of time. Having one fewer person, they have to do a little more work, so we were really happy with their results. And then we have a 4-person team here of Isaac Miller's here, and Olivia Wills, and Caleb, I saw Caleb out in the hallway, and Isaiah Ricard, who won a award for their presentation. They do a skit presentation based on the topic, and they took 3rd place for their group. Again, a lot of middle school groups. It's probably the largest group at the competition, so they're up against some really tough competitors. I'll let you ask questions, but I will just say I've been a part of the program for 4 years, and it's so fabulous. Being very busy myself outside of school, it's hard to put in that time, but the topics that we have researched have been just phenomenal. And like my favorite one we did for State Bowl, which was stress. And we had a guest speaker come in and present information, a counselor. And amongst the parents and the students sitting there listening, I could see so many heads nodding and understanding and thinking about stress in all the different ways and how we relate to it and how it relates to our lives. I thought the topic was just wonderful for them to learn as much as they did about stress. So, but if you'd like to ask the students some questions about the competitions, I'll leave it open. I know they have a lot to share. We have some great award-winning students behind me.
Anybody got a question?
Isaac would like to share.
Go ahead, Isaac.
Oh, I thought I was waiting for questions.
He said he volunteered to step up and answer questions.
Your topic was stress also? Everybody had the same?
Yeah, so I don't know what the exact number is, but you have a certain number of topics each year, and you have a few to practice and build up, and you write your booklet each time. The booklet is 2 hours that you have to write, the entire 6-step process that is the booklet. And then you have a state qualifiers, and then, so each topic is a different real-world problem. So stress was the state booklet's problem.
And that's what you did your skit on?
Yes, yeah. Our skit is on our, sorry, go ahead.
How much time do you have to develop your skit?
It depends. Last year I was in the junior division. The junior division is 4th, 5th, 6th, and the middle division is 7th, 8th, 9th, and then the senior division is on up to the senior in high school. So, I'm sorry, what's the question? So last year I had 4 hours. This year my team had 2. It depends on what auditorium you perform in.
Have you noticed being in this has changed how you think of just the other topics and stuff in your life that comes up?
Well, like in school, a lot of the topics we have in FPS are mentioned, and it's really nice to have some background knowledge. So that's definitely affected it, because before you're starting from like ground zero. Well, now I know more about it, so I can be more effective on my projects and things like that.
And then-
Isaac knows topics quite well. I'm sure he's been here. Want to share some of the other topics with them?
The biggest one that I say, like I just said about helping in school, is identity theft. I feel like I've just noticed that we talk about that a lot, and then I've noticed that I have a lot of knowledge about that, which helps a lot. So, but we've done a lot of topics. Last year's international topic was criminal justice, and the state topic was iCloud. So.
And then the back row students, how long have you guys been in this program?
I've been in it for 7 years.
7 years. Okay.
I've been in it for 4 years.
I've been in it for 2 years. I've been in it for 3 years.
This is my first year.
All right. Anybody else, any questions? Great job, thank you. Okay, next on our agenda, I have public comments and questions on agenda business. None? Okay. Next, approval of our consent agenda, please. If I could have a motion to approve our Board of Education consent agenda.
Move that the Brandon Board of Education approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Okay, all those in favor say yes?
Yes.
Anybody opposed, say no. Motion passes. Okay, informational and discussion items. Board of Education committee reports. Does anybody have? The only thing I'll say is I was at the Oakland Schools Legislative Committee meeting last Wednesday. Just basically, there's a couple bills that are stalling, like on the work keys. They're trying to get it out of that committee so they can vote it on because it got 100% committee support and it is supported by our local representatives here. The other thing too is next Wednesday, I believe it is, I got on my calendar, I think the 24th, a meeting, Oakland Schools is doing a session on their budget that they just gave. I just picked that up at this meeting, so we need to decide whether we're gonna vote on that or not, approval, a resolution that they want from us. But I wanted a moment to take a look at it, because I know we've had prior discussions, prior years. We voted yes to approve it, we voted no not to approve it, and we have still stood mute. So the comment made at this legislative meeting was, I guess technically, they only want us to vote on the general fund part of it, so I'm gonna get some clarification in a week, and I'll come prepared for the May meeting.
I guess I don't know, were you on that email? I wanted to let you know that Melissa and I are done with our superintendent evaluation training as well. So we're all
Perfect, that's
Great.
great. Yes, no, thank you for doing that, I'm glad we got that, because I know when Mary Ann started a board, we just did it as a full group. And
right.
Yes.
We did it together online, and it was great.
And that's good to get all that new stuff that's going on too. Thank you very much. Okay, yeah. All ready to evaluate.
All right.
Okay, and that's all I got. Finance report, Jan.
Yeah, just have one thing tonight. I wanted to let the board know that last Tuesday we had our bid opening for our installment purchase agreement. We did have 3 banks, investment companies bid on it. The winning bidder, Horizon Investments, at 15-year 2.91% interest rate, which is really low. The projections were based on about a 4% interest rate, so bottom line, that means that we'll save $30,000 to $40,000 a year on the payments that come from the general fund. So all good news, we will be funded, we're closing, and we will have our money 2 weeks from today, so all good. That was the final piece to the renovation, the high school renovation, so good news.
Okay. Good job. Okay, and education report, is somebody filling in for?
So, Mr. Wyatt and I talked, I put this on the agenda, we're actually gonna do this in May. He had a conflict tonight. We're gonna talk about an exciting program. One of the things that we've talked about here is talking about relationships, connections, and things that we could do to help make those connections. So, we'd like to launch a new program at the high school, a high school seminar program. And I'm going to wait until next month, but David Wyatt is going to come in. He's kind of led this initiative, and I'm pretty excited about it. I really think it fits within our Brandon 2025 vision, directly connects with one of our new goals, and we'll talk about it in May.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, on to action items. If I could get an approval and motion for the trip to Puerto Rico.
Move that the Brandon Board of Education approve the trip to San Juan, Puerto Rico. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh. June 22nd through the 28th, 2020, as presented.
Support. Okay, any discussion real quick?
Yeah, I'd love to invite Lori Marino to put this all together. Come on. Hi, how you doing?
He's below the
I know, it's like the best
I was gonna say, we didn't have
I've never
one
had
from the Board of
somebody request to
Education, or?
chaperone. Hi, I'm Lori Marino, I'm one of the Spanish teachers at the high school, and we are really excited about this trip. We haven't had travel in the World Language Department since 2001. It was actually my first year here, I just missed going. And we had another trip planned to France and Spain in '03, and then that was right after 9/11, and with all of the uncertainty in the world, the board at that time had decided to cancel the trip. And then we tried again in 08, 07, 08, and the economy was so bad that it was just really hard for families to fund that. So we've had a lot of interest over the last couple of years from parents and students about travel and the opportunities that it provides. So this year we just decided to really look into it and research it. And I met with Dr. Outlaw, and I met with our principals, and everybody was really supportive. And we're going to use the same travel group that the middle school uses for the 8th grade DC trip. They use that World Strides, and I've been researching for years. And this company I've been really impressed with, and especially after having had the chance to travel with that group in the fall. I think they offer a lot. They offer a lot of opportunities for our kids. It's a good value. It's a well-planned, organized, safe experience. So we're really excited about this. So.
Thank you for bringing this back. I think this is, I do think it's exciting, and it's for those kids at that age, it's a lifetime experience that they'll.
We'd like to maybe offer like an alternating year experience, so that we can have something that kids can look forward to and hopefully promote our program in the higher levels especially. So.
How many kids are you hoping to accommodate?
Well, we need to have at least like 14, which I don't think will be a problem to have it be a go. But honestly, I'm not that worried. I think we'll take whoever fits the requirements that we have for sure.
I'm appreciative like this trip and the DC trip, you start now so that the families can prepare and financially, organize this for their child or children. So.
I'd just like to say thank you. I know how hard you work, and I know how important this stuff is. I took a trip, an international trip in my high school years, and it changed my view at going into adulthood on travel. It was so eye-opening, but I know that there's just a ton of behind-the-scenes work and time, and so thank you for doing it for the kids.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome.
Any other questions? Okay, all those in favor say yes. Yes. Opposed, say no. Motion passes. Okay.
Thank you.
That was easy. Okay, next, if I could get a motion to approve the high school STEM program trip to the National Bridge Competition.
Move that the Brandon Board of Education approve the high school STEM freshman classes out-of-state trip to Carson City, Utah, May 19th through 22nd, 2019, for the National Bridge Competition as presented. Support.
Okay, any discussion on that?
So, just briefly on this, we were talking about it before the meeting a little bit, but the STEM program, especially the bridge competition, our district has done really well for the last 3 years, and there's only 6 teams nationally that make it. That's it. And Brandon has done it 3 years in a row. So we have 3 years in a row. And then I mentioned another wrinkle that is pretty neat in engineering. Sometimes there's a gender gap in engineering, and all 3 of our teams have been all girls on the team, and which is neat, just because it's we have a lot of kids that are interested in our STEM program in engineering. So this is a very big deal for the school district, and I'm really excited. I've been excited the last couple years on it, but 3 years in a row. The teachers, the students, they're doing an absolutely marvelous job at that STEM Academy, and we're excited about what's coming next for the program.
I'll just add to that, because I think this emphasizes, my daughter was very fortunate to be part of the team last year that went, and the other 5 teams they talked to, we were, I think, one of 2 teams representing public schools, meaning that they were either homeschool teams that were gathered together, and this was used as a part of their curriculum, or a couple of private schools. So it's just an interesting fact that gives it context, I think.
would love to feature this team to our community and to the.
Yes.
You got a good story for you.
And Shelby, I know you featured last year's team, because I remember, so I know.
Yes.
Yeah, and I agree.
3 years.
Matt had the
in a row.
idea of having all 9 of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Together,
yeah.
picture.
And to really explain that
Freshman,
kind of
sophomore,
stuff in there
It's-
too, to
I think
really
it gets
put
lost,
perspective
yeah,
on
because
it.
it gets lost.
It does.
And,
People are
you know,
thinking 50 million teams go there.
Right,
No, it's
right.
And even when parent-teacher conferences, they were just
What's
announcing
that?
it.
3P.
3P, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, there's the article.
not. Yeah, 3P.
There you
Brandon
go.
3P.
Yes.
Exactly. But the
Yeah.
teachers were, I was like, well, that's a really nice, because, you know, they have, the way they announce it is really fun too. And I hadn't even seen my daughter yet, went straight from work to parent-teacher conferences, and so her STEM teachers are telling, I walk in and they run up to me and they're like, guess what, and they're telling me about this, I have no clue what they're talking about. I knew they were competing for something. And
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's great. One of them literally reached and said, no, you don't understand, this is a big deal. I'm excited.
Still not sure what.
Oh my gosh. No, thank you for doing, because I've always, my kids did STEM, but that, to see how advanced and how well done this program has become, and now nationally, I mean, this is really, really cool. So, okay, all those in favor of sending them to Utah, say yes?
Yes.
Yes. Opposed, say no. Motion passes. Okay, approval of the human resource report. Could I have a motion, please?
Move the Brandon Board of Education approve the human resource report as presented.
Second.
Okay, any discussion, just routine?
Sure, yeah, no, I'll give you the update here. On the update, I have everybody who's coming and going. We have a number of teachers that are retiring this year. We have 5 teachers that are retiring. I mentioned we had, for example, Jamie Slott from Brandon High School. Her husband got a job in Tennessee, so we lost her this year. We had a little bit of movement, but we do have 3 layoffs that are on that list, and that's the primary piece of this. Jennifer Spencer at the high school, Kirsten McGlinchey from the middle school, science teacher, and then we have a reduction of assignment as of this time with Michael Schlick, who is a chemistry teacher. He is a .9 assignment. We don't have a full assignment for him at this time. But those are the 3 that are affected in the staffing area. Just wanted to make sure I shared their names out here in the meeting. So that's the layoffs.
And just for the public that's here, we have to do this now, or else we can't really, if you do it later with the timing of the layoffs. But usually just a procedure, and we'll know our numbers better as we get through the summer to say we're all set, we don't need, none of this will become reality, hopefully, or possibly. So, okay, all those in favor say yes. Yes. Anybody opposed, say no. Motion passes. Okay, citizens input? No? Okay. Could I have a motion, please, to move into closed session?
Move that the Brandon Board of Education approve to enter a closed session for the purpose of Dr. Outlaw's whole progress. Support.
Okay, all those in favor say, yeah, I think we have to do a roll call on that. Could I get a roll call for closed session?
Sarah Allen? Yes. John Chartier?
Yes.
Mary Ann Boyer, yes. Lisa Calhoun?
Yes.
Kevin here, Diane?
Yes. Okay, does anybody need a break?
Do you want to meet in that little conference room right over here? In a couple minutes?
Yep.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.